Welcome to another episode of repairs to the old Mark I Triumph. Now, our hero was working on the gearbox oil seal last time we saw him. So, will that get repaired? Will the car ever go again? Well, let's find out.
I wonder whether this will come off easily. And it is going to. Look at that. Before I go butchering the old one to get it out, let's have a look at the new one. Now this new one is very modern. In fact, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. Very modern. Hopefully it won't leak oil then. So, is it the right size? It certainly looks the right size. I think we'll take that as being right so I can butcher the old one to get it off. And let's go with the old screwdriver trick. Well, there's the old seal out. I was told by the person that sold me the seal that these new seals are hard to get in there, so let's get that cleaned up and see what happens. Let's see what happens here. Unlike your average seal that's got a fairly substantial part around the outside to sort of bang on, if you like, hit with a hammer or get a socket the same size as it. This has got next to nothing, and it's not going to be that easy. Let's see what happens. Well, wonders will never cease. Just get a pin punch to finish that off. Well, that's just a final tap. Well, in the end it probably wasn't any harder than a normal seal. So, let's have a look at this. What I've got here is a piece of well worn out 600 wet and dry. Just going to give this sort of where the seal runs, just a bit of a clean up. Well, I'm not sure the camera can see it, but there is a wear mark where the old seal used to run. But with this new seal being a double lip seal, it's in different location with a bit of luck. And so with a, we might be lucky here. You never know in the big city. Just going to put a bit of rubber grease on this here so that when it goes in there it's not going to hurt the seal at all. I'm getting too old for this. Alrighty then. Alright, it's time to find a workshop manual and find out what that torque setting is going to be. I shall return. Well, I was right into expecting that this bolt nut should be tight. It's supposed to be 90 to 100 foot-pounds. That's a fair bit of heave-ho on there. So we're just going to creep up on it. I think it's on about 30 at the moment. It's already that tight. Oh my goodness, I can't read this under here. Well, that's 95 it's set on. 90 to 100. Somewhere in between sounds good to me. Oh, it's tight. I reckon that's that done up. So let's get special tool off and get the tail shaft back on. Alright, that's the tail shaft back on. Speedo drives, the oil seal's done, speedo drive's done. We're sort of getting there. Got to fill the gearbox with oil, sump guard's got to go back on. There's some grease to get into some of these uni joints. And the car needs a good clean. So we're certainly getting there. What we have here is Special Tool X2B, otherwise known as a nut. It's been filed out so that it will go over the square section that is the plug in the side of the gearbox where the oil goes in. Now, why Triumph didn't put a nut on here in the first place is beyond me. Now, of course, years ago I should have welded a nut to that, as I should now, but of course I don't have a welder and I can't weld, so if I take that out I've got to take it somewhere to get it welded, and I can't, because for every year it's the same story. It's Christmas time and I can't do it, and I just never seem to think of it in terms of getting another one and spare one and all that sort of stuff. So for 30 years I just keep fighting with what I'm doing now. Silly person. Now let's see how we go with the amount of oil this gearbox needs. Now the only way I have of getting oil into these gearboxes is with a oil can. It's got gearbox oil in it, and I'll put that in there. Let's move these out of the way. All I can do now is just pump this oil in until it starts running out. Now what came out was, I don't know, over a litre I'd say. Well, no, maybe not. A litre came out of, I don't know how much this oil can hold, so anyway, we'll pump her in and see what happens, eh? Let's hope this gearbox doesn't need any more oil, because this is all I've got. topped up with oil. Rear oil seal's done. The O-ring and silicon on the speedo drive's done, and the silicon up of the outer cable is done. So let's get them on and see what happens. It'd never make a Formula One pit crew. Not unless you wanted half-hour pit stops. Well, that's about it for servicing this old Mark 1. I still need to check all the lights are working, all the blinkers, brake lights, all that sort of thing, and give it a good clean. But as far as this video goes, that's about the end of it. Well, that brings us to the end of this episode of maintaining the poor old Mark 1. Tune in, same duck time, same duck channel, for more mechanical mayhem on this poor old Triumph. Bye for now.